All right, folks. Well, there's a great Disney show. It's been renewed for a third season that was announced back in February, and is a Disney hit show called Dog with a Blog. And we have the voiceover actor who voices Stan the dog. He's with Stephen Full. How are you, sir?
I'm good. Thanks for having me, Brandon.
I don't know a ton about the show. I've watched a bit here in the last couple of weeks, trying to catch up for our interview and to get to know the show. It's definitely a lot of fun, a lot of great.
Riveting television.
It is definitely a lot of fun. I'm not sure riveting, but it is definitely a lot of fun. The kids are great. I don't know if you get to spend a lot of time with the kids, but catch everybody up as like a brief synopsis of what the show's about.
You know, it's interesting mentioning the kids and how much time I get to spend with them. I actually rehearsed the show as the dog for 3 days. I know that sounds crazy, but it's a 4-camera sitcom. It's on Disney Channel. It's about a dog with a blog. It's really all there in the title. A dog comes into the home to kind of help mend a couple families that are now blended, and kind of tries to bridge the gap. And turns out the dog can talk, and he can type, and he blogs about his experiences in a blended family situation. So it's a very popular show. There's a lot of sugar for the adults as well as the kids. And as I alluded to, I do voice the dog. I actually came on as a voice actor. And then the best way to go about the production was me rehearsing as the dog. The writers need to hear their jokes, and they do a lot of changes on a daily basis. And so I get in there and mix it up with the kids. It's pretty exciting.
Well, the kids are really great. They seem like they have a great chemistry as well, and it's really fascinating that you get to work with them during the rehearsal process. And how is it that when you guys are changing up lines and all that? I mean, because your character is a dog. I mean, it's definitely a little bit of a unique thing. I don't know, Stephen, this is what you thought you'd end up being whenever you were trying to go into acting, but it's definitely a role that's taken off for you.
You know, this was not necessarily on my radar, but happy accidents are a beautiful thing. What happened was once I got cast in the pilot, I had actually known the creator of the show, Michael Kaplan, because we worked on a show called I'm in the Band on Disney XD for a couple of years. And when he was creating this show, I was one of the actors that I think he had in his mind to at least come in and audition. And so I came in and auditioned, and I really took the job as a voice job. And it's really a hybrid of a show to have a live animal on a 4-camera show that's going to have to be animated. So I'd say by lunchtime on the first day, they quickly realized that they weren't going to be able to run scenes with the dog, because the dog can do basically one thing at a time. And so they asked me for the day if I would step in and just basically act the show out, go to the spots where the dog is going to be eventually when you shoot it. And it was just a better way to sell the material and to sell it to the producers and to the network. And it all became very cohesive. There's a fantastic dog trainer. His name is Steve Solomon that works with the dog. The dog is named Nick. And then so for 3 days, I rehearsed the show, just like I'm rehearsing my own show where I just happen to be a dog. And then on the shoot days, I get behind a microphone and a music stand, and I try to sneak lines in between the actors on set and the dog trainer, yelling out commands. So, for instance, it'll be Avery will come into a scene and say, "Hey, Stan, what's up?" And then Steve will command the dog, Mick, look. And I say, "Not much, just chilling." So it's a little bit disjointed, but it all comes out in the wash, and it's a little bit of TV magic the way it all comes together. It's pretty exciting.
Well, and that is definitely part of it. I think the show deserves a lot of credit. Is being able to pull together so many moving parts, and that sometimes gets dismissed on a kind of a show that's geared towards a younger audience, being on Disney, and people don't understand the incredible production value, the team that you have going on with. Obviously, one of the rules in obviously film theater and what have you is kids and dogs can and will do anything. So when you have a team working where all those dynamics are pulled together, it's definitely a really cool end product. And again, to your credit, the Emmy nomination that you had for outstanding character voiceover, that was definitely a great treat, and definitely something I'm sure a feather in your hat to be able to have as a reward for, like you said, just a blessing.
Well, thank you very much. Yeah, that was a big surprise, and it's a little bit of a fantasy camp atmosphere for me right now. I'm just getting to see how the whole machine works. There are a lot of functions. There are a lot of receptions I'm sure the booze will be flowing over the next couple of weeks, but you got to keep your eye on the prize. And I'm just excited to be invited to the dance, quite frankly. And as far as the show goes, I'm just proud of this show as far as the attack. I really feel like they don't approach it as a pandering show, and it's an easy mark with a name Dog with a Blog, but I think they really approach it as honestly as they can, and they deal with real family issues and real issues with the kids, and them trying to grow up and just navigate adolescence. And there's a lot of good stuff for adults, and I don't feel like the fantastic Michael Kaplan and his writing staff ever treats it as a quote talking dog show. And so it really is a happy accident in my life, and I'm anxious to get back in front of the camera, to be honest with you, but I have a fantastic time in the show, and there's no two ways about that. Disney is a fun party to be at.
I know you have a couple of kids. Are they at the right age to enjoy your work?
That's interesting. Absolutely. I have actually both their birthdays this week, so there's a little bit of insanity going on in my house right now.
I can relate to that. My birthdays are teenagers, so pray for me, brother.
Yeah, good luck to you, man. I'm gonna check out right about that and cash my chips and leave the casino. I just can't even imagine what that trip is like. But Freddie is my oldest. He's gonna be 4 this week, and he really was into it. I'd say when he was 2.5, when he didn't have a lot of questions, he just pretty much accepted things. Now that he knows my friends on the set, and he sees the set, he sees the different rooms in the house that are just a set, and he knows G and Francesca and Blake and Regan and Beth, and so he knows them in his personal life. So it's a little odd when it all gets packaged together, and on top of that, Daddy's voice is coming out of an animal, which is got to be a strange thing to connect the dots on. But he really hooks into the broader comedy. He likes to watch the shtick. And I feel like he's kind of giving over to it. So I was getting a little offended because it wasn't his go-to television show to watch. But, what are you going to do? Kids are going to do what kids are going to do. And I think he's given over to it. I did a rap on a recent episode, and he got a little bit busted by my wife. She videoed him just doing it while he was doing his little craft project. He's rapping a little fan song.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah. I'm feeling this. Kind of busted him doing stuff like that.
Well, at least you have this sort of thing that the kids can connect to. You know how many times I interview somebody and they're doing all these heavy dramas, whatever. They get a role in a Marvel film, and now they're a rock star in their house. It's like, that's what I had to do. I had to put on spandex or leather for you to acknowledge that I have an acting career, been paying the bills for you to go to school.
Pretty much. He's into the shtick more every day, so I think he's going to learn to appreciate it. It's funny you mention that because my wife is an actress, Annie Wershing, and she does a lot of pretty heavy stuff. She was on 24 for a couple of years, and
she's on Extant, right?
She is, and she's starting shooting on a show called Bosch for Amazon, and it's not exactly kid friendly, so it's pretty rare that he sees Mommy on TV. But I guess he just assumes that parents generally do some heavy business on television, and that or their words come out of an animal's face. I don't know. It's got to be a weird upbringing at this point. I expect some therapy in his future, but we're doing the best we can.
It sounds like it'll all be worked out. I mean, Andy's working with Titus on Bosch, and you're talking to Avery, so it'll be okay.
Exactly.
It'll be all right.
It's pretty much the same. We're on the same trajectory.
I'm not sure that's fair to Titus Welliver. He's going to hunt me down now. Thank you very much.
Titus is the man, by the way.
He is hysterical, by the way. I gave him do those impressions for you. You want to talk about a treat?
I hear he doesn't mean Christopher Walken, and everybody can do a Christopher Walken.
Oh, he's the man.
Still like this, but I hear really taps into it. He kind of channels him.
Pacino,
he hasn't done it for me yet, but I'm going to get after that. I love me some good Christopher Walken.
Yeah, Pacino as well.
He does Pacino?
Yeah.
Can I throw my best Pacino at you? I'm going to have to put the phone away from my face for a second.
Okay.
Can I lay this on you? Ready?
What do you want here?
That's all I do. I can just do that line.
There we go.
Stephen
Falls Pacino just scaring everyone in his neighborhood right now with a Pacino yell.
I go toe to toe on a Pacino off with Titus, and I guess I got to tap out after that because that's really all I got.
He's amazing, incredible, especially the mannerisms and stuff, the little ticks and stuff he's got down, which is really where it becomes kind of disturbing. But right now, there's some lady upstairs going, "Martha, turn off that movie." It's fantastic stuff. It is Dog with a Blog. And do we ever get a little bit of the insight? Do you think we're going to get a little insight on why Stan can talk? Do we understand a little bit?
I'm wondering that myself, and I just take the writer's lead on this one. I don't have an answer that I'm dying to know. Every week I open a script, and I hope I get a little insight. But you know what? Sometimes miracles happen, and for the time being, we just got to go with it. I do know that Stan would like a little love in his life in season 3. That's all I'm going to say. Spoiler alert, but let's just look out for that.
A little love in his life.
As far as why he talks, I really can't speak to it.
So the kids keep it a secret. So if you found out right now that your household pet, you want your kids to come clean and tell you that it can actually talk, or are you okay with the fact that they keep it a secret?
If it was, look, I don't know for sure that Bonzo, my dog, doesn't talk because I'm not around, the kids all the time. So if the kids are better for it, then I say let it slide, let it roll. Let's see where we go with this. But in general, if animals are talking, I would like to know about it because that's just delicious. Who doesn't want to know what the cats and dogs are doing when you're not home? Maybe they're inviting the neighborhood animals over and they're playing bridge or hitting up the hot tub or something. Who knows what they're really up to, because we don't know. If a tree falls in the forest, do we hear it? I don't think so. And so who knows what those animals are all about when you're not around.
Well, Bonzo could have his own Pacino going on, so we just gotta kind of wait it out, wait for them to come clean on us.
Bonzo's doing shtick for the fellow neighbor animals. I like that. I like that they don't just talk; they're actually working out material
in front of the mirror. That's fantastic. So tell us about some of the other projects and things that you try to juggle in the middle of all this. I know you mentioned that you got a lot of things going on, and it's great to be, going to the Emmy nomination season and that kind of thing. What else is in the works for you, Stephen? I'm keeping my eyes open, my ears peeled all the time. Like I said, this voiceover job turned into a full-time gig, so I'm pretty limited as far as what I can be doing when we're in production, because it's a 5-day-a-week gig, 3 days rehearsal, 2 days of shooting. I go into the studio on another day. And so there's not a whole lot I can do. I did get on a set recently, and I did a guest spot on Growing Up Fisher. And I gotta tell you, it was weird to be delivering lines standing up on my feet. That was awkward. And not having a trainer yell things before I speak. I just ask scripts if right before I talk, if they just start yelling things, because in a Pavlov's dog kind of scenario, I kind of needed that. It's what I'm used to. It was odd to memorize dialogue again. I haven't done that in a long time. I always get my pages in front of me. But I'm anxious to get back in front of the camera. I think my next voice gig, I'd go ahead and leave in the studio. I'm thrilled that I've had this experience. And I've got stories for the grandkids. And now I'm ready to get back in front of the camera and throw in a studio voice job like the elite do. And we'll see what happens. But I'm open. Say yes to everything is kind of my motto right now. Well, there is another role out there. I don't know if you've seen Guardians of the Galaxy. There is a dog. His name is Cosmos.
Is it a talking dog?
In the comic book, I believe he does talk. So he's got a very small role. He's kind of like a little cameo at this point, but they, of course, have approved a sequel. So you need to send those resumes out now that you already have the credentials. And, Cosmos needs to be carried over into the Marvel Universe. That can only be a win-win in the Full House.
LA, baby. Write it out as long as you can. Any talking animal gigs, I think I'll be right at the front of the line for those now.
It's fantastic. Folks, Stephen Folse, it's been a great pleasure to talk to. Disney's hit show, Dog with a Blog, will be back. They're getting ready to film season 3. That has been confirmed, and we'll be able to see that. And we'll look forward to hearing more from Stephen Folse. He gets some different things manifest, and it's really cool to be able to chance to talk to you. I love voiceover, folks, because you guys are just so genuine, and Jim Cummings did like 16 voices for me. It was crazy. So I just love hanging with
man.
you. Yeah, he's a beast. You know, all the Disney characters that he does and stuff. And yeah, so I just love hanging with you guys and getting to know you a little bit. And it's been a treat. Thank you so much for fitting this in.
Brandon, I really appreciate you having me.
All right, you take care, sir.
You too.
Steven.